Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. My name is Marco and I'm here to help you master your money and build your wealth. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the 70-20-10 budgeting rule. So I made a video years ago called How to Manage Your Money, the 50-30-20 rule, but things have obviously changed. Things are getting more expensive because of inflation, so I tweaked this rule from 50-30-20 to 70-20-10. So just a quick refresher, 50% originally went to your needs, 30% went to your wants, 20% went to savings. But in this video, we're gonna tweak that. I'm gonna show you examples, how to automate this to make your financial life much easier, and some alternatives at the end of the video as well. Stay tuned. Okay, so what gets measured gets managed. So earmarking every dollar to work for you is the important thing here, and that's gonna be the overarching theme in this entire video. So think of budgeting kind of like a diet, okay? Sometimes you eat an extra cookie, you eat an ice cream, you drink a pop. These are little things that add up all throughout the week, and you basically end up busting your diet because you didn't actually track what you were eating, the calories coming in. So let's break down this 70-20-10 rule because I want to treat budgeting the same way as dieting. And dieting sucks, nobody likes dieting, but this will become a habit, it'll become exercise, you'll get into a habit after 28 days, form a habit in your brain, and you'll become healthier and in shape, right? At least financially. So let's break this down. So 70% goes to things like your mortgage or your rent, so living costs, utilities, transportation, insurance, food, loans, credit cards, things like that, entertainment. So this doesn't include any pre-tax employee-sponsored retirement plans because that's already coming out of your paycheck. Remember, this is just your net budget adding up to be 100% of your net take-home pay. So the 20% is gonna be more of the savings and investing, okay? So this is gonna be like emergency fund, college, investments, big future purchases, savings and investing. Remember, we're trying to save 1/5 of everything we take home in the form of 20%. And then finally, you're asking probably, hey, what does this extra mean? What does this 10% extra mean? So 10% is basically anything that you have left over, okay? So this could be additional debt payments. This could be giving to charity. This could be however you see fit to use that additional $1 out of $10 that you take home if you have anything left over in the first place. So once you're out of debt, you can start using this to, give, be more charitable, contribute to your community, things like that. Or you can just use it to, inflate your lifestyle by 10%, which I actually think is pretty fair. So now that you understand how the actual pie works, let me give you some examples. Okay, so we'll take a pretty realistic scenario here. Let's pretend that your net monthly income is $3,000. Okay, so if we just go off of these figures, the 70-20-10 rule, this is pretty easy to figure out. And then we'll get into later scenarios if you can't afford it, but let's just pretend that you can. So $2,100 of this is gonna go to bills and spending. Okay, then we have savings, emergency, or investing. Okay, so 600 of this is gonna go into savings until the emergency fund is fully funded. This can be anywhere from 3 to 12 months depending on your living situation. And then what we're gonna do is the rest of this is gonna go to additional debt payoff. And that amount, simple math, is $300 per month. So $300 of this is gonna go to additional debt payoff, and if your debt is paid off, if you're debt free, you can do whatever you want. It's discretionary income. Some people like to give, some people like to inflate their lifestyle, some people can go to a couple nice dinners or one nice dinner per month. It all depends on what you wanna do. But what this is doing is it's keeping you within your net monthly income, and it's also taking care of your bills and spending, and it's taking care of your savings, emergency investing, and it's also paying off additional debt. The nice thing is that once the savings and emergency is covered, then this $600 can go to investing, and once the debt is gone, this $300 can go to investing or whatever you want. So it's a pretty flexible plan. Okay, so as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm gonna teach you how to automate this so it becomes a thoughtless process. You don't even have to think about this every month, and you know that you're taking care of your quote unquote financial diet, okay? So the first step is to review bank or credit card statements over the past few months and come up with an average of each expense, okay? So what this is gonna allow you to do is it's gonna allow you to figure out, hey, I can cut a few things from this 70%, or maybe I do have some going to savings and investing, I don't even know it, or this 10% extra, right? So you can kind of reconfigure your pie to make sure that you're close to 70%. So if you're close to 70%, you're good to go to the next step. If you're not, say you're over 70%, figure out what you can cut, okay? That way you're trying to get as close to that 70% as possible. If you can't afford to get close to the 70%, say you really are, the quote unquote rice and beans lifestyle, then we'll figure something out at the end of this video, okay? But if you're close to the 70%, we can then move on to the next step of automation, okay? So I've been talking about on my channel for years, automating this stuff, setting up different buckets, different savings accounts, okay? So what I mean by this is once you know your numbers, you're gonna set up buckets to save the 20% in a bucket, that's savings, investing, the things that we talked about earlier in the video, and the 10%, the extra, the additional, okay? So you can do this a number of different ways. You can set up high yield savings accounts. So these can literally be two different savings accounts. Say for example, you use M1 Finance or Capital One 360 or your local credit union, right? You should be getting at the time of this recording at least 4%, if not more. So in these buckets, this could be a separate savings account. That could be a separate savings account. You can use ETFs like SGOV, SGOV. That's just BlackRock's 0 to 3 month Treasury ETF. It's actually exempt from state income taxes. So if you live in a state with income taxes, that can help you out as well. Anyway, that's outside the scope of what I'm trying to say here. Basically, this is gonna leave you with 70% to be used for the rest of your expenses, as you can see in this pie here. So the goal out of this whole spiel is to try and set aside 20% of your income every month, and you do it religiously and you pay yourself first. That's gonna separate you from the people that have more month at the end of their money than money at the end of their month, if that makes sense. Okay, so very quickly, I talked about giving you some examples of other ways to budget. Sometimes the 70-20-10 doesn't work for you. Say it's too tight. Say you have more income than the 70-20-10 and you can afford to do other things. Here's a couple other ways to just completely simplify this budgeting process. So the original video I made was the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% goes to needs, 30% goes to wants, 20% goes to savings. Then you have the 80-20 rule. You save 20%, which we kind of talked about in this video, and then 80% goes to whatever you want. So as long as you're saving 20%, 80% blow it, have fun, right? If you're a professional athlete, save the 20, don't touch it, and then blow the 80 on diamonds and jewelry and Ferraris, right? And then the 60-40. 60 goes to fixed expenses, similar to this 70% that we just talked about, and 40% for everything else, okay? That's your investing and savings and all that stuff. So these are just different ways to skin a cat. At the end of the day, none of this stuff matters. It just matters if you follow through with it, okay? It's just like the Atkins diet, the carnivore diet, the this diet, the that diet. Hey, dude, do the reverse curl away from your mouth and get the cheeseburger away from your mouth. Get the pint of ice cream away from your mouth. At the end of the day, that's what's gonna make the difference is if you're disciplined enough to follow through with this. But if you automate it, it makes it a lot easier. My example would be getting the junk food out of the house. Don't even have it. Don't even make it an option, right? Automate the savings. So hopefully you got value out of this video. If you did, please share the video with a friend or family member, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all that good stuff. That way my children can afford to have food tonight at dinner. And real quick, check out Whiteboard Finance University. It's my community. We have budgeting courses, we have real estate courses, we have stock market courses, we have live streams every Wednesday with me. It's an unbelievable value. Check it out and have a prosperous day. But Marco, I'd just like to have a little snack after. Put it down. Put the Ben and Jerry's down.